Do you think it's impossible to save money based on your current income? If so, continue watching because in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all 8 practical ways that you can save money fast. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first practical ways to save money fast is to cut back on unnecessary expenses, which means eliminating non-essential spendings such as dining out, subscriptions that you're no longer using, also unnecessary purchases. By cutting back on these things, you will definitely be able to save money fast. The second practical ways to save money fast is to have a savings goal, which means identifying a specific goal that will motivate you to save money. So this can be like a 6 months challenge that you and another friend can do together, or even by yourself you can do this. You challenge yourself that you want to save $600 in 6 months, right? So for each month, what you're going to do is for the first month you're going to save $100, the second month another 100, the third month another 100, and so on and so forth until you reach to that 6 months or until that $600 is saved. That's just a practical example of how, just putting together a saving goal can really help you save money fast. The thing about saving, you know, it just really depends on what you want to do. Let's say you want to challenge yourself for $1,000. You can do that. Each month, you know, you're just going to allocate a certain amount and you're going to put it towards that savings till you get to the $1,000 that you're trying to save. The third practical way to save money fast is to set up a automatic transfer into a savings account. So this can be whether you get paid bi-weekly or monthly. You can set this up on your bank account where every time you get paid, let's say you decide to put aside 20%. So if you get paid $500 and you decide to put aside 20%, so that would be like I believe $100. Yeah, $100. You're gonna be putting it aside specifically in a savings account. By doing this, this prevents you from spending the money, but not only that, you're also able to build a savings. You know, and I kind of feel like a lot of times this is so much easy because once the money gets into the account and it just automatically just goes to another account, you don't see it. You really won't feel it per se because like it's a unconscious thing that the money just like literally goes and you don't get to see the whole process. But I kind of feel like if you have, like, let's say you get paid like in a check and you tell yourself, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and put, let's say the same, I get paid $500 in checks or in cash, and I tell myself, oh, I'm gonna put 20% away. Once I hold that cash in my hands, it's gonna be so hard to just say, oh, I'm gonna take out $100 and save. It's really gonna be hard. I mean, I've tried it before and I can attest that it is so hard to you yourself taking the money and saving it versus the money just being automatically transferred is so much easier. You don't really see it or you don't really get that feeling of it, but once the money is in your hands and you touching it, you smell the money, and all kinds of thoughts like starts to butter up in your mind. Things that you you weren't even thinking of buying start to like be so illuminating in your eyes. So yeah, and that sometimes makes people like not even save the money that they said they're going to save. I just feel like having money in your hands, it just it changes the whole dynamics of things. I don't know about others, but for me, I just feel like having money in my hand just like makes me wants to spend it. What I do as far as for this, I just automatically, set it up with my bank, and it just automatically just gets transferred. That way I don't get to see it. I just know that money was taken out. The fourth practical ways to save money fast is to increase your income. So which means looking for opportunities that will help you generate more income. So doing things like freelancing, doing things like side hustles, working extra hours at work, or doing a part-time gig, just anything that's going to help you increase your finance. Doing those things will definitely help you save money fast. And I know sometimes like we are tired after we've done like our 9 to 5 jobs, you know, and like what is the goal? If your goal is to save money, then obviously you're gonna have to develop that strength to be able to, work those extra hours or those extra gigs to be able to get extra money. The fifth practical ways to save money fast is to reduce debt, which means paying down high interest debts to save on interest payment. Because some of the credit cards that we have are like 15%, 20%, obviously depending on your credit score, and all of that is a factor. But I just kind of feel like sometimes like the interest rate on these credit cards are so high, you know and God forbid if you have one of those high interest rate credit card, right? And you go and charge it, let's say you charge it to the max, and obviously time they send you the bill, and you don't have the full amount to pay it completely off. Just imagine the interest that's going to accumulate, you know, for that max out credit card that you've just done for just a month. Definitely feel like the credit card industry has a way of really getting us sometimes, so we have to be smart about it. Otherwise, we're going to be paying more than what we ought to pay. That's how I see it. So I have a credit card that is, I think, is 12 or 13%. So what I do literally, every time I charge that card, I pay the difference. Like I just pay it off because I do not want extra extra anything being added on. So if you can try to do that, that would definitely help you save on interest. 6 practical ways to save money fast is to sell unused items, which means you're going to be looking throughout your house to find those items that you're no longer using. For us ladies, a lot of times we buy, let's say, too many clothes, too many shoes, too many bags. We have all these things that are literally like decoration in the house. So looking in your closet and finding those things that you no longer use and trying to sell them so that way you can get some money from them. I mean, obviously you're not going to get the same amount that you paid before because I assume they use the item. So obviously you're not going to be expecting to get, the same price that you paid before, but at least you were able to get some money back, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, so looking in our house and finding those things that we're no longer using and finding ways to sell them is definitely one way for us to be able to save money fast. And there are so many websites these days that can definitely help us do that. I know, like, I don't know if Poshmark is in Australia, but I know Poshmark is a big thing in the US. So I was one of their, I won't say their customer, but I was one of those people that was like posting clothes on there to sell. And I remember once that I sold up to like probably $200 worth of items. It was just things that I wasn't using at all. I have used and didn't want to use them anymore. And yeah, I was able to get a little change from those things. So yeah, so look around in your house to see if there's anything that you are not using. You can do a garage sale. That's another effective method to sell unused items. You can do eBay, creating an eBay account. That's another useful method. So You could even carry your clothes to like Goodwill, but I don't think at Goodwill they give you money back for your clothes, so you're just voluntarily giving your clothes away. So if you don't want to get money back, obviously you can take it to Goodwill, but for this video we're trying to save up money. So obviously Goodwill would not be an ideal place to take your clothes or your items, but wherever place that you can take your items that where they can give you some money, definitely you can look for those places and go from there. 7 practical ways to save money fast is buying secondhand. I know a lot of people love to have brand new things, but I kind of feel like if you really are trying to save money, right, and you're trying to save it fast, buying secondhand things, obviously the good secondhand stuff, is not a bad idea at all, because some of the things that I have gotten from a secondhand store has been worth it. I'm not even going to kid. It's been worth the purchase. And if I have gone to a regular store to buy that item, that's all I would say. Like, I wouldn't spend over what I paid at a secondhand store, way over that. I'm a big advocate for secondhand store buying because I just feel like, why not? You know, if you can get quality things from a secondhand store, what's the point of you buying things from another store when you can also get something of quality from a secondhand store? So think about that. The eighth practical ways to save money fast is negotiating your bills. So, which means calling your service providers to negotiate your bills. So, things like your phone bills, insurance, light bills, utility, so many things that you can call to negotiate. But the thing is, a lot of times we just accept whatever we get, but we need to have this strategy of negotiating. I kind of feel like the service providers always have some type of deals. And obviously, if you don't ask, they're not going to be like, oh, here you go, Mali. I can get you to save 50% on your insurance if you do this, this, and that. They're not going to automatically just tell you that. You, as the consumer, you need to go to them and try to negotiate with them to see if there's a possibility of them lowering your current bills or your current utilities, your current insurance, whatever it is that you feel like you're paying way too much for currently. Find a way to see if you can negotiate with them. Just letting them know that another company is like offering a lesser, amount as far as for your phone bill or whatever bill that you're trying to negotiate for. Just letting them know, say, hey, by the way, I went to this company and they said they could give me this. What can you guys offer me? I've been a loyal member of y'all for X amount of years, and I would hate to take my business somewhere else. But at this at this point, I'm trying to save up as much as I can. So if you guys, see me as a loyal customer, what can you offer me that would make me want to continue my service with you guys? A lot of people do that. You have no idea how much people negotiate so many things, you know. But sometimes, like I said, sometimes we want to sit back and we just want to wait. And obviously, we see that the bills is becoming higher, for us to pay. And we're just sitting there and just like, oh, I'm just going to scrap and scrap and scrap to be able to pay, this bill. When you could like just go and say, hey, um, is there a cheaper plan? Is there a percentage for me, being a part of you guys for this amount of years? Is there a customer loyalty program? Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I remember when I was living in the States and I was on a family plan with my family, and every time, like, my dad was like so good at this. Like, obviously, my dad grew up in Liberia and all of that. And in Africa, negotiation is like a thing over there. So even when we came to the States, my dad would try to negotiate as much as possible. And a lot of times he did get good deals, and then watching that and seeing how good of a negotiator he was, I'm like, you know what? I need to practice this, and so I started to practice that a little bit here and there. And then obviously when I moved to Australia, I was like, yeah, we go- we're gonna have to get on the cheapest of cheapest plan, until we can get our foot into the sand, and that's what I did. So I negotiated a lot of my bills. So I mean, I still get the full benefit, but I'm just like, if I can get it for cheaper, I'm gonna get it for cheaper. I don't know about you, but that's just something that I find myself doing, and that has saved me hundreds and even thousands. So if you are really serious about saving money fast, negotiating your bills, there's no shame in it. There's absolutely no shame in it. Like I said, like when my dad used to do those things, like try to negotiate with people, I'd be like, oh my god, no, he did not just do that. It's not just, but when you think about it, if you don't ask, they're not gonna like just be like, oh, here you go, have this. No, you're gonna have to ask. So yeah, no shame in it. You're just trying to pay less than what you can afford. And if there's a possibility of you paying less, then definitely try to negotiate, because you never know. So I just want you guys to remember that saving money definitely requires discipline and commitment. And obviously implementing all of these practical ways would definitely help. But again, it takes discipline and it also takes commitment. Otherwise, I'm gonna just be real with you. We're gonna be living paycheck to paycheck. Like, it's just as simple as that. And obviously, you don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. And in order not to, you have to put practical things in place. So if any of these practical ways that I've presented to you guys today, if any of them have resonated with you, definitely ask that you comment down below so we can continue the conversation. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for liking. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing to join the family. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.